Today we're going to give you 5 secrets that the airports absolutely don't want you to know. Stick around to the very end, and we're even going to have a bonus tip for you on how to find some peace and relaxation at the airport. Let's go. Hey everyone, Johnny from Byte Size Travels. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for coming to check out our channel. We're a travel agency. Our goal here is to give you the best possible information about traveling so you can plan to go on an amazing trip or vacation. So let's get into these 5 secrets the airports absolutely don't want you to know. Number 1, learning that arrivals versus departures is much less important than you think it is. So you know when you get to the airport and you're driving and someone's dropping you off or picking you up, when you are leaving, you're going to go to departures. Obviously, you're going to get down to the thing there. You're going to check in at your gate. You're going to do all those things you have to do. When you are leaving, you are going to go out the arrivals door and you're going to pick up your Uber, your taxi, or you're going to get picked up. Here's the thing. It is generally crowded at specific times of the day. If you are leaving in the morning on a flight, a lot of people leave in the morning on flights. You know what a lot of people don't do? Come in on flights early in the morning, unless they're coming in on red eyes from an international flight. So the trick here is to, in the morning sometimes, if there is a lot of traffic and you could see there is a bottleneck, to come in through the departures. It doesn't really matter. You're going to get dropped off at the same gate. You can go up and down the escalator there real quick, much quicker than you could drive in and wait for all those people to get out of your way or fight for the traffic there in those arrival and departure lanes. I leave out of Philadelphia a lot, and that definitely bottlenecks in those specific areas, especially early in the morning between, say, like 5 and 8 o'clock in the morning. Tends to be very, very crowded in the departures lane and no one's in the arrivals. Same thing when you leave, check it out. Check and see if there's a lot of traffic either in the arrivals or the departures, and then go to the other one. I notice when I fly into Miami, if I'm going on a cruise, or Port Canaveral, if I fly into Orlando, I will judge it real quickly. I'll walk out and check the departures and arrivals and see where there's no traffic, and then I pop out there, get my ride share, and I am off and good to go. Next up, speaking of ride shares, little tip and trick here to avoid extra surcharges and fees. So this is going to be number 2 for us. Really go and check out what those surcharges and fees are on your apps before you call for your ride share or before you get a taxi. Here's what happens when you arrive at any airport. There's automatically a surcharge. Even if you are going to the airport, they're going to take you there. It might be a 10-minute ride, and that 10-minute ride might normally be $20. And because you are at the airport or going to the airport, there's a surcharge that takes it up to 30 or 35, which is pretty expensive. So here are a couple tips and tricks to avoid that. One, when you're leaving the airport or you're leaving a cruise port, say, get away from the port area. So get away from the cruise port or get away from the airport. Airports, there's a really nifty trick. They have free shuttles sometimes. That free shuttle will either take you to maybe a parking spot or a parking garage where you can then order an Uber or a Lyft from there. Those shuttles are free. Might drop you off at a hotel that's close to the airport or right there that's 2 minutes away. Jump in that free shuttle, go to that hotel, call your Uber or rideshare from there. You might save $10 or $15. You might even save more than that if you're in a surge time period like rush hour or early in the morning, like we talked about, people getting dropped off at the airport. Same thing if you're leaving the cruise port. If you could just walk away from that cruise port a little bit or take a courtesy shuttle or do something like that, you're going to cut down your rates. Sometimes you can even walk out of the airport. Depending what city you're in, be careful, right? So you want to make sure that you kind of just clear the airport grounds. Once you clear the airport grounds, there are generally tons of hotels and different things by airports. If you're in a big city, you can just get there and then you're going to cut out those taxi and rideshare surcharges. Number 3, learn what allocated slots are. Airlines definitely don't want you to know this. This is why some flights get delayed all the time. Some airlines get delayed all the time. What happens is at each of the airports, there are things called allocated slots. Those allocated slots mean that each of the airlines have these allocated slots where they can fill in different planes, different itineraries, different things that are going on. If you start to learn this, you will see that certain airlines at certain airports get priority on the allocated slots list, which means that, say, I leave out of Philadelphia, Philadelphia is an American Airlines hub. That means that American is going to be late less than United or Delta or somebody like that that doesn't have a ton of planes in Philadelphia, because American gets those priority allocated slots, so they can fill in the gaps there quicker than someone like Southwest or Delta or one of the minor airlines there. That's going to be a big deal if you are really kind of wanting to make sure your flight doesn't get canceled or delays. Now look, there is still a plethora of issues and a number of things that could cause your flight to get delayed or canceled, but you are going to have more of a success rate if you set yourself up for success by understanding who gets those priority slots and what those dominant airlines are at each of the airports. Number 4, you may not know this, but sometimes if you lose items, if things get confiscated at the airport, or you do not pick up your bags, so if things just get kind of unclaimed, there are websites that actually sell these things. They tend to keep them in the airport for a specific amount of time. If no one comes and picks those things up and they don't get stolen or just disappear for some reason, they get sold, and they get sold at 2 really popular websites. One is called unclaimedbaggage.com. You will see a lot of things there: bags, luggage, computers, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches, tons of things that people leave in their luggage and then get sold off. There's another website called govdeals.com. This is if TSA confiscates something. Sometimes they're just things that are being sold off as well and auctioned. So there are auctions on that site, and there are buy now things, and those things are generally the things that have been confiscated and that are just sold off for parts or goods because they sat there and were never reclaimed. Next up, and our last tip of the day, remember to stay 1 more minute at the end because we will be giving you a bonus tip. So this last one is check your credit card for lounge access. Airports and airport lounges definitely don't want you to know that you have access to certain lounges via your credit card. This happens a lot. This is why you can never find the lounges in the airport. We recently sailed out of Miami on a cruise. When we were coming back, we had a long delay, so we tried to find the Turkish Airlines lounge in the Miami airport. First of all, not a great lounge. I'll do another video on that. Not a great experience. However, these lounges are hidden. They're so hard to find and get to. So check your credit cards. A lot of credit cards will give you lounge access, not only for you, but for a guest that has a day pass. So check those out. Check all your credit cards. And if you travel a lot, really think about getting a credit card that has lounge access, that gives you mileage, that gives you money back for flying, all those type of fun things. Now we're going to give you a little bonus tip. If you spend a lot of time at airports and your flight gets delayed, or maybe your flight gets canceled, or maybe you're just looking to be more comfortable while you're at the airport, check out sleepinginairports.com. This is going to give you tips and tricks of the most quiet, peaceful places. Some airports have a chapel. Some airports have little quiet areas that you can find that nobody knows about. So check out sleepinginairports.com. And then one final little bonus tip is, if you see comfy chairs, or you see a charging station, or you see a water refill station in the airport somewhere, right next to that is going to be impulse shopping. This is a very psychological heavy trick that the airlines and airports are using to get you to spend more money in the airports. Maybe to go up there and grab something, maybe grab that pair of headphones that you forgot, that you were like, I don't need them, and then you wind up wandering by or trying to sit in the really comfy chairs or charge your phone, and then they get you on the little impulse buy. So keep an eye out for those things, and safe travels as always. We hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful trip. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment below, and we will help you as much as we can. Thanks so much. Have a great day and safe travels. Bye.